Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, hello and welcome to another episode of A Day Late and a Dollar Short. My name is Polonium Morris and I'll be your host for the day. Today's game is Persona 2 Innocent Sin and Eternal Punishment. Now, the quick and the dirty, 8 out of 10. The story in these games is amazing, the characters are great and unique. The dungeons are a little uninspired, but not too terrible for the time they came out, but combat is bad. Flat out bad. And that's it for the quick and the dirty. If that's what you're here for, then hey, take it easy. Now for the rest of you, let's get started. Alright, I'm going to catch a lot of crap for this. When I'm talking about Final Fantasy IX, I think that applies more here, because these two games are beloved. For one, I probably shouldn't have done them together, because things did change between Innocent Sin and Eternal Punishment insofar as gameplay goes. But I felt like they were close enough together that I could do them and they would be about the same score. Because it's the same in both, so where the story is great in both of them, and the characters are interesting in both of them, but they still suffer from the same issues. The combat system doesn't really improve in the time span between the two. Also, I went with the anime here because it covers both Innocent Sin and Eternal Punishment, and that was kind of important for my needs. Okay, now then, let's get into the specifics here. This story is great. It is told fantastically, and it covers a wide range of things. Both of them do. One actually covers some more sensitive stuff than two. That's why we didn't get it over here in the States at first. Which, by the way, is something I'll rant about here in a bit. It's because it covers some things that are a bit sensitive in nature, and back then it wasn't exactly kosher to have a game about them. Even though a couple of first-person shooters did it, for some reason Atlas did not think that it was okay to talk about Hitler. Because he does pop up in the first game. So, yeah, but the story, both of them, is absolutely great. It covers a lot of sensitive subjects and does them very well. The characters are all interesting. They're all unique. They're all different. They're all varied. And this actually does something, well, I'm going to complain about combat, but it does something interesting in that their personalities also come through when you are trying to talk to monsters, because this was back. For those of you who didn't know, Persona 1 and Persona 2 did the negotiation system where you, doggone it, the negotiation, I did it again. The negotiation system where you talk to monsters to get them to give you their cards or various items. Is that ooh la la? It is. Anyway, to give you their cards, various items, and then you used those cards to perform fusions and make persona. And this was not quite when it started. I think that started in Shin Megami Tensei, but it did go over to Persona 1 and Persona 2, and then we lost it for 3 and 4. Not complaining. I hated the system. It was so random, and now we're getting it back in 5. Anyway, but characters' personalities come through in their negotiation options, and that's really cool. And the more complicated negotiations you get, the more their personalities show through. And it's just, I really liked that. As much as I don't like negotiations or the combat system in general, those particular things were really well done. It also served to make negotiation easier. Easier? I am talking up a storm. I English well. It served to make negotiation easier. Doggone it! You know what? We're going on that. It's easier. In that when you did multiple people together, it had a better chance of hitting something that the enemy liked, as opposed to, you know, your 1 in, what was it, 4? 1 in 4 or 1 in 6 chance. So that was nice and very well done. And like I said, all the characters in both games are very interesting, very well done. Animation wasn't great for the time. Not gonna lie about that. It was passable, but it wasn't anything fantastic or stand out. But I did like the way it used more dreary colors. It was a darker looking game, and darker games in general, which fit the tone of what they were trying to do. So yeah, the graphics, like I said, not stand out, but decent, good enough. They were passable for the time. Sound, the sound's there. I mean, it's not a negative. It doesn't go on the cons list. It's just not amazing. 3 and 4 really stepped it up on the music, but 2 was kind of the midpoint there. But it's not all good. Let's go to the combat. The combat's awful. Combat's terrible. Combat basically revolves around having as many people as possible in your group do combined actions. And to me, it's not fun. And to me, it takes away from the identity of each character. And the way TP or SP, the way magic points, I'll just say magic points, were done, encourages you to just constantly and consistently use your special abilities. So you have basically no reason to normal attack unless an enemy is weak against that and strong against your magic, and every reason to set people up to just do their combinations. And it just leads to a slog to where you wind up doing the same thing over and over and over and over. And I mean, you do want to find good combinations, which means finding the right persona to do that. But on the overall, it manages to be a slog. And like I said, the dungeons aren't as bad as Persona 3 or 4. Because I'm sorry, I hated that procedurally generated crap. So I will take set dungeons that have a theme over dungeons that are just random nonsense, basically. Oh, but yeah, no, combat here was just slog. And you can't do that in a game where you have so much combat. And that's the way for both of them. That didn't improve. The only thing that improved, really, between the two were animations. Because go look at Maya and Innocent Sin Attack, and then go look at Maya and Eternal Punishment Attack, and they just did a much better job. The 2-to-1 was just really cool in 2, and meanwhile in 1, it's just like, pew pew. And it's not very well done. Although, I do have to say, I think I preferred the characters in Persona to Innocent Sin over the ones in Eternal Punishment. I liked Eternal Punishment's characters. I feel like they didn't stand out quite as much as Innocent Sins. Alright, I think that's about it. Now, this one is usually highly lauded among the fan base who started 1 and 2. I actually prefer 1, which I'll be going over in the next Persona one, which is after. I'm doing 8-7 next for Final Fantasy, and then I'm doing Persona 1, which is one of my favorites in the series. Yeah, so that's about it for the review overall. Thank you guys very much for joining me. If you enjoyed it, go ahead and hit the like button. If you'd like to see more from me, that's what the sub button's there for. And with that, I will be seeing you.